What is up, guys? Welcome back to Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another Walking Dead video for today. This one, we're going to be doing the worst to best episodes of the second season now for the Walking Dead television series. This is going to be the worst to best episodes from Season 2 of The Walking Dead. Okay, guys, so this is going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today. This one's going to be doing a worst to best video. This one's going to be for the second season of the Walking Dead television series. So this has been a long-awaited video. I did the season 1 video probably about a week and a half ago at this time, and now I'm finally going to go ahead and do one for season 2. Now, this video is definitely going to be very long because we have a lot of episodes to go through for season 2, but I absolutely love this season. I know this is one of the seasons that people hate, and in my opinion, this is one of the most underrated seasons of the Walking Dead television series. I know that's a very unpopular opinion, but honestly, to me, this is one of the most underrated seasons. I think they've got some amazing stories, and, of course, Shane really helps this season. He's a really great character this season, and, yeah, so without further ado, let's start. Let's talk about the list, of course. I want to say spoiler warning, but it's like I'm sure everybody has seen Season 2. If you haven't seen Season 2, that is going to really surprise me. So, yeah, let's start off with number 13. Coming in at number 13 is going to be The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 5, Chupacabra. So, yes, this is definitely the weakest episode of this season. I really like this episode still, though. I do like the kind of the dinner stuff and Glenn and Maggie in the beginning of their relationship. I think that's, it's kind of necessary for the story to see kind of, just see a little bit of that reality in there, But I do have to say the Daryl stuff with Merle, as much as I really like it, and I like that they had Michael Rooker come back, the replay value of this episode is really not that good because I find that it gets kind of boring almost with the whole Daryl and Merle stuff. I don't know, after a few minutes I kind of get bored with it, and I know that maybe doesn't, but I mean, that's one of the big themes that a lot of people say about Season 2 is that it's a really boring season, and I don't agree with that, but I definitely have to admit there are little parts here and there that are definitely a lot more than they should have been, and the Daryl and Merle stuff really could have been trimmed and just, I don't know, something different, or cut out altogether. We didn't actually need to see Daryl get injured and all that stuff. It doesn't really do that much for the story, aside from getting fans to hate TV Andrea. I mean, honestly, I mean, that's really the only thing that they did in this episode is to make us hate TV Andrea. So, if that's what they wanted to do, it worked. But, I mean, I don't know. Number 12 is going to be Season 2, Episode 4, Cherokee Rose. This episode is really slow, I'll admit, but I like it a bit more than Chupacabra because this episode is right after Otis, of course, and we have the Well Walker, which I really like the Well Walker and how he splits in half. I know a lot of people really don't like that, but I love that. I think that was absolutely amazing. And also, we get to see a lot of focus time with our characters. We get to see Lori. We find out she's pregnant in this episode, which definitely really sets up what comes out comes up later. So I really like this episode, even though I think that it definitely needed a little bit more kind of maybe in the way of like drama and action. I feel like it was lacking a lot of those things. A lot more drama. A lot more action in that episode probably would have made things a lot better, but, it was still a good episode. I'm still going to say it's a really good episode. Number 11 is going to be Season 2, Episode 6, Secrets. This is the episode basically where Glenn is at the farm, and basically he's keeping the secrets about the walkers in the barn, and Lori's pregnant, and he kind of just, he's a really bad liar, basically. That's kind of the big premise of the episode, and we have the pharmacy run, we have Rick finding out Lori's pregnant in this one, we do also have the target practice, Shane and Andrea, and their weird little moment, but it's a really cool moment. I like how they even still too they do almost like a remixed type of version with the subdivision of Wiltshire Estates from the comics, except the real remix version is in Season 5 in the Tyrese death episode, but the place that Andrea and Shane go to is almost kind of similar as well, so it's really cool, really like that episode, and yeah, I'm going to put that at number 11, Secrets. Coming in at number 10 is going to be The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 8, which is called Nebraska. So, this episode is really good, I have to admit. It's a very kind of, relaxed mid-season premiere, though, and that's why I kind of rated a bit lower than the others. It's a really good episode, but as a mid-season premiere, I was a little disappointed when I saw it, but I really like the whole Dave and Tony in the bar thing. I thought that was really good. We see a lot of, and I love how quick Rick, just kills those two guys. It's really cool. that was probably the first Rick moment where I'm like, okay, this guy is my favorite character. Like, Rick Grimes is my favorite character, like, no doubt, you know? And we also deal with the, you know, the aftermath of the Sophia Byrne thing. So, it's a really good episode. Herschel kind of leaves in this one, which, you know, I don't know how I feel about that storyline, but it's a really, really good episode nevertheless. It's really exciting. You don't really know what's going on with these new guys at the bar and stuff, and by the end, they're just dead by Rick. And, you know, the way Rick handles that is really awesome. And this is the episode that made me realize, okay, Rick is definitely my favorite character, you know? So, yeah, just, I mean, he's awesome. You can't say he's not. Like, honestly, Rick is the best character ever in the whole Walking Dead series, in my opinion. So, anyway, yeah, number 10 is going to be Season 2, Episode 8, Nebraska. Number 9 is going to be Season 2, Episode 2, Bloodletting. Now, this is the episode when we get introduced to Herschel, Maggie, Beth, the farm, you know, you guys know how I feel about Beth, but, you know, and just the farm group, and, Carl, and is he gonna make it? Shane and Otis go out for on that run or whatever to try to save Carl. It's a really, really good episode. I really like it a lot, and we get introduced to the farm in this one, so it's a very, very exciting episode, and, you know, it's kind of a wonder, you know, whether or not Carl's gonna make it and all that kind of stuff, and yeah, I really like that episode a lot. So yeah, number 8 is gonna be season 2, episode 9, which is called Trigger Fingers. So this episode is really, really good as well. This episode is the shootout in the bar. Now, I do have one gripe with this episode though that made it so low on the list still, is because I really think that this episode suffers in terms of the lighting. The lighting at night when they're in the bar, it's so terrible, honestly. I'm sorry to say, but the lighting is really bad. It is really hard to tell what's going on in some of the parts, you know? You gotta, like, adjust the lighting or something, because honestly, it's really, yeah, it's terrible. But, that does not take away from the amazing action and the amazing suspense and everything they had in this episode. We get introduced to Randall in this episode. We also get to see a lot of our characters, back at the farm, of course, as well. Shane lies to Lori, says that Rick's already back, which, it's just like, man, those classic, you know, some of that classic stuff from Season 2 is just really good. Yeah, I absolutely love it for sure. So, yeah, number 8 is definitely going to be Season 2, Episode 9, Trigger Finger. Coming in at number 7 is going to be Season 2, Episode 11, Judge, Jury, Executioner. Now, this is the death episode of Dale. I really like this episode a lot. I think it's really well done. Even though I'm not happy with Dale's death, the way they do it, the group is broken line, I think it was really cool. Kind of the whole question of have they really lost their humanity in this episode, you know, with the whole Randall thing, just wanting to kill him just like that, you know, not even thinking of another option, you know, at first at least, and, you know, Dale just doesn't really want to be a part of it, and he, of course, dies, unfortunately. We get the Sorry Brother scene, which I really, really like, and, yeah, it's a great episode, it really is, even though the actor that plays Dale didn't want to you know, to stay on the show, or at least that he wanted to leave, and then he wanted to stay, and then it was too late, and then they had to kill him off, you know, so, still really, really great, and honestly, his death is still very memorable. I'm not going to say I was happy that they killed him off in the way they did, because honestly, I think Dale deserved a better death, but what they did with it is the best they could do, I think, you know, in the circumstance that they were in, honestly. So, I think it worked out really good. It was still a really, really good episode, and yeah, definitely number 7, Judge, Jury, Executioner. Great episode. Coming in at number 6 is going to be The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 3, Save the Last One. So, this episode is the big episode where we get to see basically that Shane has completely adjusted to the apocalypse. I mean, he has completely adjusted, and he, you know, he kills Otis, of course. We have the head shaving, which doesn't really make sense at the beginning, and I love how they do this. It doesn't really make sense at the beginning, but it makes sense by the end of it, you know, and it's really, really cool, and it kind of gives me some Breaking Bad vibes with that, too, because, you'll notice, if anybody hasn't watched Breaking Bad, in Breaking Bad, you'll have a lot of opening scenes that don't really make sense, and they're a flash forward. Any Breaking Bad fans would know what I'm talking about, and then, you know, either later on in that episode, or later on in that season, it'll make sense of what that, you know, what that whole scene was. They do that a lot in Breaking Bad, and they did that in this episode, and I think it was really cool. They played with time, but it's not Fear the Walking Dead, you know, stadium timeline type thing. It's good. The way they do the timeline in this episode, it works. It's really good. And there is still the kind of the kind of panic of whether or not Carl will survive. Lori being ridiculous, thinking that maybe Carl should just die. I can't stand Lori. I'm sorry, I just can't stand Lori, especially in this episode. But, yeah, anyway, really, really good episode. I absolutely love this episode, honestly, so much. It's an absolutely amazing episode. So, yeah, number 6, Save the Last One. Coming in at number 5 is going to be The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 10, which is called 18 Miles Out. Now, this is the fight episode with Rick versus Shane. Now, you're probably going to wonder, Dan, why is this at your number 5? Shouldn't the fight between Rick and Shane be higher on the list? I love the fight between Rick and Shane. I love the Randall stuff, but there's one thing that is keeping me from bringing this higher to the list. Beth is horrible in this episode. I mean, honestly, this is the episode that I was like, okay, I don't like this character at all. Beth ruined a lot of this episode for me. Honestly, I love the fight between Rick and Shane. I think it is so good. It is such an exciting scene. But when you keep cutting back to Beth and the whole thing with her, and especially because it's mainly led by the characters Andrea, Lori, and Beth, I'm not going to like it, you know, and I got to be honest with you guys, I did not like that part of the episode at all. I found it to really ruin the episode a lot, but I'm still going to be generous, and I'm still going to put 18 Miles Out at number 5, because it really deserves it for the fight between Rick and Shane, Randall, everything they did there, really, really good episode, and honestly, I would watch this episode over and over again, except for the Beth stuff. I think that is something they should have completely cut out of the episode. We didn't need it. We just didn't need it. We already knew she was upset because, you know, her brother and her mom and all that stuff. We don't need to see, they don't need to egg it on. And that's what they did in this episode, you know. Season 2 style, egg it on, you know, put the hat on Glenn's head with the egg on it, you know, you don't need to egg it on, you know, that's seriously what they did. I don't know, the Beth stuff in this episode really annoyed me. Number 4 is going to be Season 2, Episode 1, What Lies Ahead. Is this not the best premiere, like ever? Like, or at least one of them? Like, honestly, this episode is so good. I mean, when they're on the highway, you've got Rick, and he sees the herd. The herd is coming for them, and they're hiding under the cars. The intensity in that scene, it is there. I mean, oh my God, is it ever? And we have Rick going after Sophia, the disappearance of her, Carl getting shot, the church stuff, which was really good, the search for Sophia, everything like that. Really amazing episode all the way around. The dialogue, every piece of dialogue was amazing, and honestly, this episode is gold to me. It's an hour long, it's really good, and honestly, if there's any episode from Season 2, one of the episodes I'd recommend to watch again is definitely What Lies Ahead. I absolutely love that episode so much. So yeah, absolutely love it. I think it's honestly, it's another very underrated episode of The Walking Dead. So yeah, number 4 is going to be What Lies Ahead. Coming in at number 3 is going to be The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 7, which is called Pretty Much Dead Already. So, this is an episode that I am just, I never have loved this episode more than I mean, honestly, this episode, it has so much. It has the shocking moment of Sophia. It has Shane, and Jon Bernthal killed it in this episode. You have the burn, you have the, you know, the paranoia, you got everything. I mean, honestly, such a good episode, and your jaw just drops by the end of the episode. I mean, honestly, that's all I gotta say. It's an amazing mid-season finale, and honestly, it really it warrants a spot on the list for sure. Number 2 is going to be Season 2, Episode 12, Better Angels. Now, this episode really killed it. Now, this is, of course, unfortunately, the last episode on Shane's character, but it is so well done. I mean, honestly, his death, the flashing of the zombies, him turning into a zombie, Rick realizing, oh, Jenner was right, we are all infected, you know? That's when Rick realizes that. Carl puts down zombie Shane kills Randall, you got Daryl and Glenn in the woods kind of investigating the situation, and they kind of find out, Daryl and Glenn, that it's like, okay, Shane probably killed Randall, you know, and they go back to the house and stuff. So I love this episode so much, guys. Honestly, there's another episode that I think really is rewatchable. It's so rewatchable. It's amazing. Now, my number 1 spot for this list, I can't. Season 2 is so good, but the best part of the season is the end of the season. I mean, honestly, the end of the farm, which I think should have been finished a lot earlier, but I love how they do it in this episode. And the main reason why this is my number 1 spot is because this is one of the first times we see a herd that just completely wipes out a location, and honestly, too, that's really scary. Like, you fear the zombies in this episode. It's really good. And you've got the RV, you've got Jimmy's death, you got Patricia's death, you got everybody kind of scattering all over the place, then finding each other on the highway, and it comes full circle. That's what I love about this episode. It comes full circle, just like in, you know, the premiere of this season, and it comes full circle circle, and they're back on the highway again. They're back on the highway, and it's like, you know, what now type of thing. And not only that, that's not even it. That alone would be enough of a reason for that to be the best episode. But not only that, you have the introduction of Michonne, not the actress, but at least the character of Michonne is introduced in this episode. And you have Rick's speech, which I love. I love when Carol's like, do something. I've been keeping this group alive. I am doing something, you know. I've been doing that all along. Just that amazing speech. You know, this isn't a democracy anymore, you know. Man, Rick is awesome, honestly. I just gotta say that. And the ending of the episode, basically, we have the prison, and we have the kind of setup for Season 3. And honestly, I get the chills so many times in this episode. It is unbelievable. So, yeah, that is my list. Worst to best episodes. My least favorite episode of Season 2 is going to go to Season 2, Episode 5, Chupacabra. And my all-time favorite episode of Season 2 is going to be the season finale, which is called Beside the Dying Fire. Absolutely amazing episode. Absolutely amazing season, in my opinion. Yeah, there are some flaws, of course, as every season of Walking Dead does, but honestly, there are very little flaws with this season. You know, staying on the farm for maybe a bit too long is probably the biggest flaw of this season, but honestly, there are so many things about this season I just love, and honestly, I have such a respect for Season 2 of Walking Dead. Just everything they did, honestly, really, really great. And, yeah, as much as a lot of people didn't like the farm, and I think they could have trimmed it for sure, I think overall the season really was good. And honestly, I wanted more from, like, that Season 2 feel. Honestly, I just love it. I'll be doing one for Season 3 as well really soon. That'll be 16 episodes, so that'll be really, really fun to do. These videos I have a lot of fun doing, so of course, Season 3 I'll probably be doing some point in time next week, so stay tuned for that, of course, guys. And of course, if you're new here, click the subscribe button so I'm sending my Walking Dead videos. Follow Dan's Walking Dead Reviews on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for another Walking Dead video. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.